Honorable Sam Netejoy. Mr. Speaker, it is reported he directed the closure of 7 radio stations, and this was with immediate effect.
All right, so Anano, Sam George closes 7 radio stations. Yes, Sam George ebe take over as the communication minister. No, radio stations 7, and our 2. Neno and Enra on the floor of Parliament. Afenyo Markin say on the Uhunu said there's something fishy, and Untino. Sam George Mrano me in Huano. It's answer radios Mako 7. Utumudia. It could be say washada and our person watake radio stations are in favor of the government. Neno and ama Sam George Ababonting drage Afenyo Markin. It's answer Afenyo Markin are bon unsiade. Say Sam George I blasted Afenyo Markin. HM say Afenyo Markin enim she about governance. Just on it. Yankasa ne say yankasa ena all kasadi. But then before say EBT and Sema Sam George the Babe responded to Afenyo Markin no. Me pese ye share statement as Sam George the Babonten ana abra no mo close down these 7 radio stations. Sam George any the Ministry of Communications state the reason why mo close these radio stations no. I would like us to look at that. We are near Babe and response Odema Afenyo Markin no. And so first on the list Guma FM. 7 radio stations no makulosi. Out of the 7 radio stations no, one of them any Guma FM. Na Guma FM no ewo boko. According to the Ministry of Communication no, almost say the Upper East Regional Security Council almost who say Guma FM no almost kotana radio station no so a and tokwa ekoso boko ho no and almost so jagum. Say omo sa radio station no mu a omo be koso soja gum saa na violence no eto ntwada. And say radio station no tribalism ene etitirasem ena na omudi. And in Sam George say na ehun be hia so omo be kulosi Guma FM down. Na ukọ the 6 other radio stations are omo no ni license. Omo license time na drew was omo renew no. Omo yomani they are not paying any the license no sika no they are not paying it. Ebi mo dey kra dey any license. Na radio stations no 6 radio stations ni the fire group of companies Sunyane Isaac Consult Limited Tamale Abo Channel Media Group Adidome Ochame Radio Limited Bibiani Mumin Bono Foundation and Techiman and Usikani Community FM I won Krankwanta. And so according to Sam George these radio stations or more time as soon I was saying call renew or more license fee no now so they are not doing that. Ebi mo dey cry any license cry and na Omugina Communication Act Act 775 or so and Omudi close these radio stations down. So Enra and Semen Afenyo Markin second on the floor of Parliament ana Ochimu say was Sam George Eba na obabeyi ne ho ano. It's answer the closure of these radio stations no onu hu no say unfair and in Sam George Emra now on for further explanations Emra.
Mr. Speaker, first is the decision of the Minister for Communication and Digital Technology, Honorable Sam Netejoy. Mr. Speaker, on the 18th of February, it is reported from the Media Secretariat of the Ministry that he directed the closure of 7 radio stations, and this was with immediate effect. Mr. Speaker, in my view, the National Media Commission is the body responsible for making certain determinations and making recommendations as to the conduct of some of these frequencies, radio stations in our country. I find it very strange that the minister would issue such a directive. I will therefore, Mr. Speaker, based on these concerns, pray that the leader of government business indulges the House to invite the minister to come and brief the House on what resulted in his actions. Mr. Speaker, he is answerable to this House and not only to the President that appointed him. So that is my issue 1. Issue 2, Mr. Speaker, issue 2 has to do with Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Mr. Speaker, we all know that GBC is the nation's #1 media house. Every support needs to be given to GTV. I have been watching GTV, and they are one station that is able to reach the remote parts of our country. They need support. We've seen other media houses, particularly the private media houses, getting prominent lately in programs of the state. We don't see GTV doing live broadcasts. Mr. Speaker, if it's about resources, I would again want the Minister of Government Business to program the Minister of Communication and Digitalization to come to this House to brief us on steps that the ministry is taking to resource GBC. Mr. Speaker, they have very nice programs, especially their breakfast show, very educative. And if GBC does not get the support, they are likely to collapse. We don't want that to happen. So GBC would need support, and I would want the minister to address the House and assure us on steps that the ministry is taking in that endeavor.
Also, in same way, and Afenyo Markin did to draw Sam George about Bontain about Dragenono. Now, and some Sam George can say, I've never seen a leader of the August House so uninformed and uneducated on a subject matter. The lack of humility on the part of Afenyo Markin to learn and get facts before he speaks to matters he lacks understanding of is becoming problematic for the business of the House. He clearly needs help from himself. Not just say, some George say ignorance Afenyo Markins. He's not willing to learn. He's not willing to look at issues before speaking on the floor of Parliament. Just say he's a minority leader, and so he has to speak. And now, speaky keke. He lacks knowledge and understanding on issues able to draw on the floor of Parliament. And now, so actually say, kindly tell Afenyo Markin that if he paid just a little attention to my CV when I appeared before the appointment committee for vetting instead of the needless showboating, he would have noticed that my middle name is Nate, not Nete, as he stated for the records. I'm a firstborn son from Sosi and Kabiewe clans of Ningo. M for Mu to Mika. Well, so it looks like Sam George doesn't want to waste time on Afenyo Markins. And so Hununi said he has valid grounds to close these radio stations. And yes, be our radio stations we know omo ye Jumatia and DC politically intina o closing it down. And says senka no more renew or more license and ka untimi nya reason bia enko closing it down. Senka radio so omo ye Jumatia and DC and I closing it down there and enka untimi FM and in a two more. And but then clearly, as the communication ministry has stated, these radio stations, they were working without license. And a Guma FM no so or Bokohono or so Jagun Tokum and Inti and a maculusing it down. Well, so that is it. Sam George and Ababontain, Ababe Drage Afenyo Markins for mentioning his name on the floor of Parliament.